Okay, I'm a person that can live anywhere I want to on the planet. Okay, I've lived in 114 countries and I've done this nonstop for 26 plus years. Okay, but I have found that in the last 10 years I've started always returning to kind of these what they might call endless springs, perfect climates. There's probably, I don't know, maybe in the planet there's probably 50 of them. I really don't know. I know of about 19 of them. And I'm presently in the country of Colombia, where there's no need for air conditioning and there's no need for furnaces. So the goal here is that I like to live in places where there's no need for any kind of heat, no need for air conditioning. It's at an elevation of somewhere between 4,500 feet and 5,500 feet, maybe 6,000 feet elevation. It's endless spring. It's almost always a thing. It's in the tropics, though. I mean, that would be a lot colder if you was not in the tropics. The tropic is the area from 23.5 degrees above the equator to 23.5 degrees below the equator. So it's like endless spring or endless fall inside the United States, but without those highs and lows, okay? It's really a wonderful climate. And one of the things that's really unique about when I live in one of these places for, say, 3 months, 6 months, or something like that, and I return to the United States, I feel like I'm living in a box. I really feel relatively horrible. I'm very sensitive then to the gas forced air furnaces or air conditioning. One of the worst things possible for your health, in my opinion, is air conditioning. Gas forced air furnaces are bad. Radiant heat probably is the best. Maybe, I don't know, but you have radiant electric heat. I'm not sure where you put it, in the walls or in the floor. But nonetheless, what may be Providence, I called it, I was in Florida and I called this and I went to church with Cliff, and I called it ironic coincidence. And the preacher walks up and said, no, that's Providence. But Providence is when God works in the back of your world and basically makes sure that something happens that is ironically thing. A lot of you know that I've been talking and thinking about what I call I'm going to call affordable retirement mini luxury homes. Maybe we call them Henry David Thoreau houses. Whatever you call it, they are just exactly what we need instead of what we want. Houses of just exactly what we need, but small homes that are could make it so I would love to have one, because if I had it in the United States, I could return during spring or fall and enjoy the wonderful climate of the United States in these periods and avoid the ridiculously hot or humid. Because a lot of times the United States in a 4 climate culture is a lot worse than even the tropics. But I watched a video today, and this is why it's Providence. I watched a video by Dave Asprey. Dave Asprey is a longevity expert, and I'm going to share this link in the thing, but I'll try to tell you the name of the video. Dave Asprey. Dave Asprey. He's a longevity expert. The name of the video was Toxins in Your Home, Mode, VOCs, and everyday stuff that secretly is ruining your life. I'll say it again, Toxins in Your Home. So probably if you did a search for Dave Asprey, Toxins in Your Home, this video would come up. But it's an excellent video, and there's 3 different people he interviews. And he goes right through all the things that I've been talking about for years. When my father died, he died too young. He should have lived to be 100. All the Grahams lived to be 95, 100, whatever. We have the good genetics for longevity. But he died of cancer, and I couldn't figure it out. And ever since he died of cancer about, 10 years ago, I've been thinking about it. And at the time when he died, I stopped using chemicals, because I finally decided that the chemicals that he put on his body that touched his skin caused his prostate cancer. I truly believe that the microplastics, the carbon monoxide, all these different things that are in the environment are making and ruining our life. So in this video, which is very succinct and clear, Dave Asprey interviews a person where they talk about carpets. Carpets are causing a lot of things to happen. There's plastics in the air, there's mold underneath the carpets and whatever. But I've been living in places where they have concrete walls, and you'll see that he's going to refer to this in the videos. And he talks about one of my biggest worries is EMF, electrical magnetic forces. Elon Musk, I think, has a box of see, what you should be able to do is turn off the electricity at the box so that there's not at the junction of the what do you call it, the breaker box, so that the electricity is not in the wire and creating all these electric EMF, electrical magnetic forces. But they talk about the dust, the air we breathe, and how houses have become too tight. A Henry David Thoreau house was pretty loosey-goosey, right? The house breathed. And when I'm in the United States, the houses are not breathing, and I'm rebreathing the same air, and the carbon dioxide is building up in the home, and I can feel it because I'm breathing natural air for, like right now, I'll be breathing natural air for about 2 months here in Colombia, and then I'll go back to the United States, and suddenly I'm breathing conditioned air, air conditioned air, or gas forced air conditioned air. And this stuff is horrible for your health. You can only live about 3 or 4 minutes without oxygen. It's one of the most valuable things we breathe. And I often think that people living in the big cities in the United States are breathing so much pollution, acid rain, or whatever you want to call it. But this video by Dave Asprey is much better. And I want you to be a polymath. What is a polymath? A polymath is like a person that is a little bit good at everything. And we can actually, you don't really need to do research. In a lot of ways, the people that are doing research, this guy's watching me make a video, then he starts talking. I call this brutish behavior. It's in Henry David Thoreau. Okay, but I want you to be a polymath. Leonardo da Vinci was a polymath. He was a little good at everything. And this is really, to me, the goal of life, is to be a little bit good at everything. And we can, right now, with the availability of knowledge, you can live in anywhere on the planet, in some of the most economical, greatest climates on the planet, and have all the knowledge in the world at your fingertips. But a person can, and should, in my opinion, accumulate knowledge and have the curiosity. I often plant things to see if I have curious people around me. I don't know what's happened to the curiosity of humans, but it's become very strange that you can do something around somebody that would be, in a way, a very curious behavior, and they don't say anything. I just went to the gym and used my long bands, and I'm doing these specific exercises with 8 points on it, and not anybody asked me why I'm doing it. But it's for the synovial fluid. But a person can accumulate more knowledge on a subject than even an expert. One expert may study the only thing they're studying is one thing that they particularly have an interest in, and they're not studying they don't have the time to study the other 80 or 100 experts on the planet. When the internet first started, I was extremely excited because I thought that scientists would get together and work together to solve the problems of the world. Didn't happen. They still are only working for money. Very little information is shared. One of the provisos of Bill Gates, when he gives money for his research, is that you have to share the knowledge. And knowledge, democracy, the democratic use of knowledge, or the democracy of knowledge, is what I really believe in. But a person can accumulate a large amount of knowledge. Synergy is when you have 50 people sharing the same knowledge and working together, and they become More than 50 people. We got some real noise going on. Actually, in the video, one of them talks about noise pollution. And noise pollution is growing. And I often think that the reason why noise pollution grows is really funny is because when you got nothing in your head, it creates a vibration in your brain that gives you something that goes on in your brain. But Dave Asprey is a longevity expert. He's written about 5 books. And the name of the video is Toxins in Your Home, Mold, VOCs, and Everyday Stuff That's Secretly Ruining Your Health. And this is exactly outlining some of the issues that I want to install in my Fountain of Youth, Henry David Thoreau home. That is a simple home. That is what we need, not what we want. Because when you have more than you need, your brain is used too much. Okay, one of the reasons why everybody's stressful is they have too many things, too much stuff to do. George Carlin, when he made that video about stuff, he defined it accurately, and people are spending their whole life becoming hoarders. One of the interesting things that you'll see in the United States is there's used storage places because it's proliferate. It's becoming ever present in the United States, these used storage places, because hoarding is a mental disease in a lot of ways. It has become so prevalent that people cannot stop buying. But this video he interviews 3 different people, and they talk about the mold. When you buy a house and you got paint, it may take 6 months before the fumes of the paint leave the house. I was watching this video where this guy was talking about echo, and I made a little comment in there. You're acting like you're ecologically great when you have chipboard behind you, which chipboard has formaldehyde in it and lets off different chemicals. A truly great house was probably built with normal wood. Any kind, you want it to breathe. You don't want it to be so tight the proliferation of cheap energy is going to change the world, because really we should have breathing houses that are not so airtight. They're forcing builders to build houses that are ruining your health. They keep the toxins of the spray foam in the house. They keep the smells of the formaldehyde of the chipboard in the house. They keep all these. They don't recirculate the air. What you should do is have a constant circulation of air in your home so that you're always breathing fresh air. On the other side there is places like New York City where you just shouldn't live. Chicago, New York City, any city bigger than about 10,000 people inside the United States is untenable. It's really too polluted for human survival. But you also need to be away from different things. Elon Musk keeps pushing the solar panels and the Tesla car, but I truly believe, like my friend Rich just sent me a video about hydrogen. They have these hydrogen packs in Japan, and hydrogen in a way is a lot better fuel for a car than batteries. Why? But you see, you can take solar panel and you can store electricity in hydrogen, and then you can release it to the electric car. But driving a car that I'm completely surrounded by electrical batteries is like being microwaved. And that's one of the reasons a lot of people don't like the 5G, as they say, is microwaving the body. But we can make a home, and join in me, become a Patreon, where we can talk about how to make the one decision home where life is simple, where you, as a polymath, a person that is willing to learn and understand all the many facets how we dynamically think, can have a home. They talk about this and they're trying to modify their homes, and truly I'm just kind of laughing, because to me it's ridiculous to try to modify your home. It's not really possible. You need to build new homes. But we need to build homes, and they even talk about it. He says, he asked the one gentleman on how to do it to a house, and he said, it's easier to build a smaller home and live in a smaller place than to try to modify your house. But the paints, the the polyurethane spray insulation, the plastic on the outside of your house, all these things are creating a toxic environment for your home. You can build a concrete wood home in a biophilic environment where you are in touch with nature. They have proven that people that live in that walk in the woods are mentally more stable. And what's happening to society right now with COVID-19 is they're doing the drive-through thing. They don't even have community. In a lot of ways, it does seem like a conspiracy to destroy the minds of the humanity. But it's really a affliction of the 25 overdeveloped nations. There's 253 nations on the planet. They're kind of debatable on that. But there's many places where you can live in ideal climates and choose your lifestyle. And I truly believe that the ideal lifestyle is probably to live in about 4 different locations every year and change according to the climate and the conditions of the situation. Don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with the Inteligencia de Nueva York. New York and all these places are the center of knowledge in some ways, but they're also the center of idiocy. They're not dynamically thinking, they're not a polymath, they're not truly engaging in all the different aspects of intelligence. They only are good at one little thing while they don't really do it. We need to be a great example as a philosopher, as a person searching for truth. We have to see all the different things. But become a Patreon. I'm going to go to Israel in December. You can help GoFundMe. If you know anybody living in Israel that can give me a place to live for about 5 days. I want to move around in about 20 different places, really, inside Israel. And I want to go into Gaza. I want to go all over the country. It's a small country. It's not a big country. But become a Patreon if you'd like to talk and discuss things and deal with things. Every Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you don't know what time that is, do a search for the time in New York City, and it'll tell you what time, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're going on. And I'm going to continue to go live everything, even if there's only one person, because it's my commitment to the Patreons to give back to what you give to me. Patreon is a person that supports me monthly, like with $5, $25, $100. And what it does is because I don't really, right now I'm sort of believing that one of the biggest problems we have with all these videos is advertising, because they skew. You can see that advertisers and corporations are controlling the planet. And it's becoming such a problem for journalism that there's no such thing as honest journalism anymore. Okay, I'm Andy Lee Graham. I'm here and you're not. Why not? I'm in paradise. I'm a place where there's no need for air conditioning. There's no need for furnaces. I'm breathing the air. Go figure. Fresh air breathing. And you guys are trying to buy, you're living in New York City, breathing carbon monoxide and trying to eat organic food, and you just don't get it. Become a Patreon.